Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Show to Be with Mike G, the show of life, the show of island living, the show of Jameson, whiskey, Oxley gin, here nor there, and so much more. Today's chat is with the brilliant Simon Nicolian. He is a recent Austin transplant, came into town to open the now legendary Here Nor There bar on 7th Street and here in Austin, Texas. We sit down, we chat, we sip some mezcal, we talk about life, we talk about travel, and we talk about wanderlust. That is a great theme here. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this great chat with Simon Nicolian.
Terry Nick's podcast.
Yeah.
I learned something.
Did you learn
I never
something
knew.
about them?
Oh, a couple of things, actually.
What the hell, really?
Terry grew up in a hotel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Hospitality through and through.
Yeah, but so did I.
You did?
Yeah.
In Antigua? Or
in Anguilla.
Anguilla.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Which
Yeah.
part of the family, father, mother, were in
My dad. It was my dad's hotel. Well, my family's hotel.
Yeah.
But it was not like a building hotel. It was a hotel with bungalows stretched over along a beach.
No way.
Yeah, stretched over from Meats Bay to, I can't remember the name of the bay now, but it was set in an idyllic Caribbean paradise.
Really?
One of the most beautiful beaches on the planet.
White sands, I presume.
So white powder, like the best.
Yeah.
And I would be like kind of running to and from the main house, like stealing little baguettes or the peanuts out the bar.
Yeah.
Stealing the go-karts at the club cars.
Like the golf cart kind of
yeah.
things? Yeah.
Because we had two. There was pieces of shit as well. One always was never working at the time, but there was always one that was working.
Yeah.
And then I would, whenever I saw it with the keys in, I'd hop in it. I didn't realize, I got the sense that I could do.
Did you flip one?
I never flipped one. No, didn't have an accident. Though, as a teenager going back to the Caribbean, one night got very, very wasted on a lot of rum and drove onto a beach. And I had to call my uncle. It was a rental car as well. I had to call my uncle.
Yeah.
He was he's known as Iranian George.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bit of a legend on the island. Anyone that you go to Anguilla, you ask for Iranian George.
Yeah.
They'll take you to my uncle's house. He was the maintenance guy originally at my dad's hotel, but then left my dad's hotel to go and work as the maintenance dude for Malohana, which was like the other best hotel on the island at the time.
Was there a rivalry between the two?
No.
It's all good. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. They were both just early really good hotels there.
Yeah.
My uncle went over to work for Malohana, ended up doing a lot better. I think it was definitely it was a great gig. So he became the head of maintenance and stuff. And anytime I ran into a teenage problem, where I needed something sorted out, he was the man to turn to. Yeah.
Uncle, it burns in certain areas. What do I do?
It was a rugged time though. This was back in the day. No mobile phones.
Yeah. Because you're 38, 39 now?
36.
36, okay. A little bit younger.
Hitting, but prior to secondary school, I didn't have a mobile phone.
Yeah.
And you did things manual, and in the Caribbean even more so.
Sure.
So everything was very, very kind of like analog, which was cool as well. I remember enjoying growing up in that way, where there was a bit more. You could do whatever you like. There was less consequence for
There's less noise too, right?
Less noise, such less noise.
I loved writing letters. I was just thinking about this just yesterday.
Yeah.
When I moved from Salt Lake City to Katy, Texas, which is just outside of Houston,
Yeah.
there was a girl, and I wouldn't say it was necessarily romantic, but maybe a tinge of it. But we were both writers in creative writing class and stuff. And when I left, I was sad I was leaving Salt Lake City. So was she. So for months, we wrote letters back and forth.
Nice.
And I've never been able to reconnect. But
Yeah.
that specific moment, right, before the internet completely hit,
Yeah.
and I would write with my absolute rubbish penmanship. It's horrible. But to go through that thing, I think, or rather, do you think folks are missing out that they didn't have to work a little bit harder just to do this analog way of things?
Yeah, it's different now. I mean, it's good. I enjoy the quick kind of getting stuff done because I like getting things done. And it's definitely easier now to get things done. However, I spent a lot of my life, adult life prior to coming to America in a small ski town. And I came there, I'm not sure of the year. I'm so bad with years, so I probably won't furnish you with any. But I was like, actually I was early 20s. Yeah, iPhone 1 was available,
I remember,
I think, yeah. So prior to that, there was not much photographing, videoing, all that stuff out and about. And there used to be a night at the best place in town called the Faraday, downstairs in the Casbah, called Mostly Naked Mondays, where it was a legendary evening. And
You aren't going to skip through why it was called that, though, will you?
Oh, well, people got loose, naked, rowdy shit happened because there was nothing. There was no one who was documenting it.
Yeah.
That can't happen anymore.
Oh,
and that's why, prior to obviously the technology, and iPhones and all that stuff, you could get loose and not worry about it. And
man,
so it's changed. It's changed a lot for the worse. But then you can get things done quickly.
Yeah,
you can get a taxi anywhere to anywhere.
How long have you been in Austin now?
About 9-10 months.
10 months
since the opening. Opening of Here Nor There,
which is just short under a year now.
Yeah, 10 months. I was saying 9 months about a month ago, so it's 10 months now.
Yeah,
precisely.
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
There's an interesting thing. So my dad. Well, there's a different story to it, but the guy who's been my dad, the guy who stepped up to the plate, restaurateur. He opened up a hotel in Roswell, New Mexico, and that's where my folks met, And I never realized it until I grew a bit older, that I always had that hospitality bug in me. Regardless if it was genetic or not, I'd been conditioned to be around the restaurant business. So for you, quite literally growing up in a hotel, were you conscious of the fact that you might have just in fact been destined to be in the hospitality industry? Or did you want to be a painter? Did you want to be a musician?
I'm not sure. There was a certain stage of life I remember I wanted to be a florist.
That's good.
Yeah. That's it. I love nature.
Yeah, sure.
Florist. Always. And maybe still one day.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it wasn't only growing up at the hotel, but maybe it was actually. I don't know. I used to spend a lot of time at the bar. Wayne was the bartender there. At Cocoloba was the hotel.
Okay.
It then turned...
Still around?
My dad sold the land many years on to the Viceroy.
Oh, okay.
And then it became the Viceroy. Now they've turned it into a Four Seasons. So the Four Seasons Anguilla is basically that exact property where I grew up.
Oh, that's crazy.
It probably looks a lot nicer now.
Yeah.
But it was back in the day. It was a classic 80s nice hotel.
Oh yeah.
There's loads of celebs used to stay there. There was in fact there were loads of celebs. My dad had a mate called Jean-Claude, who I thought was Jean-Claude Van Damme. Turns out it was just a guy called Jean-Claude. He sold sugar. But there was because Chuck Norris was on the island as well.
Dude, really?
It was there was a few chefs. It was a bit of a chef hub.
Yeah.
So all the top chefs of the day used to stay there. It was probably every day at 6:00 there was happy hour where all drinks were free for an hour. So everyone used to go to the bar, and there was these bridges that led to gazebos.
Mm-hmm.
People used to hang out in there. Phil Collins was there one time.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, he was chatting to my mama.
Well, that's what he does.
Yeah.
He's been married like 6
She was
times.
yeah, definitely. It didn't work out with my dad, actually. And she was like, she did say one day, fuck, I could have.
Fuck you, Phil. I love Phil, man. There's a spot in my heart for him.
He's such
forever.
a legend.
Yeah.
He's such a legend.
He is absolutely
He's
a legend.
Absolute legend. That was my tile, which rang from my keys in my pocket.
I figured it would have been a Genesis song. I'm a tad disappointed.
Oh, mate, yeah, definitely. But it was actually the hospitality. I think where that really came from was my dad used to. He was a businessman, and we lived between kind of the Caribbean and London.
Oh, okay. So did he grow up in London proper?
No, he's from Cyprus.
Oh, Cyprus. Interesting.
Yeah. The hotel came about, I guess, when I was born, and then so we lived there.
Yeah.
But then we moved to London. He had a suit shop in Savile Row first, and they sold like made to measure suits and textiles and stuff, and then one in Beecham Place as well. And my dad used to sell a lot of textiles to Japan, and then
Really?
every now and then we had these Japanese people come over, and my mum would throw these parties, and the house would be full of Japanese people, and the parties were pretty lavish. There was like a lot of food. My dad had a cellar downstairs, like a huge wine cellar. It's really cool. There was good times had in that house. It was quite a big house as well. There was just people everywhere, and it was like proper hospitality. The pies were good, I think, and I think I just soaked it up.
Yeah. You don't even realize it though, right?
You don't.
Yeah, like when my dad would work front of house, or rather he would be GM of a restaurant at like a larger place, and he would say, well, you guys come in Saturday, because he has to work, and the family would come in, my brother, my mom, and I, and then he would just be talking to people. He would be talking to patrons, talking to the wait staff, talking to the chefs, like the kitchen, all of it, and you get wrapped up in it. It is a particular lifestyle. In a way, it's not elegant, but in a way, it's very connective and it's very social. It's like a thriving social kind of culture, you know? So I can see you can admire that, you know?
Absolutely.
Do you have any siblings at all?
Older brother.
Yeah.
A younger sister, a younger brother. We all grew up together until everyone kind of petered off a little bit.
Going their own ways?
Yeah. My brother moved to Sydney.
Sydney?
Yeah. He bartended there with Porteño. They were owned by a group that are really cool, doing really cool things in Sydney. They've opened up a load of really good places, and then what they did as well was open up. If any of their staff are really good at what they do, they open up a restaurant with them.
Yeah.
And they've had great success with that. My brother opened up Continental with them, and that became a really wonderful place. They ended up getting a hat as well. It's like the Australian equivalent of the Michelin star kind of system, yeah, because they don't have those over there. So, and then they've recently opened up a second one. He's killing it. He won Bartender of the Year.
No way.
An
older brother, you said, yeah?
2 years ago. Younger brother.
Younger brother. You're the oldest?
There's an older brother as well.
Okay. I should be taking notes, Simon. it's a robust family.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a younger sister, younger brother as well. Two younger brothers?
Younger sister. And so he's the younger brother.
I see, okay.
My sister's a milliner.
Uh-huh.
She makes hats.
Really?
Yeah.
Haberdasher? Is that the right word?
Haberdashery. Is a haberdashery like or is that where you get all the
maybe where you get
stuff,
it, where you make it.
Yeah. But yeah, she's
still on the island?
No, this is London. In London,
okay.
Yeah, and they make hats for like royals and stuff. She's making hats for some serious people. They're good hats as well.
I bet.
She made this one.
I was gonna ask you if that was.
Yeah, this is one of hers. Finally, I got one.
I mean, it's a brilliant looking hat.
I waited 3 years for this.
I can't pull off a hat, but you can. When did you realize you could pull off a hat?
I don't know. I love a hat when my hair start falling out of it.
Yeah. Is that a necessity? But
No,
you pull it off. It works with
like,
your facial structure.
I do love a good hat. Yeah.
And something that looks. I mean, you look at this thing. We'll have to take a picture of it. But that looks pretty goddamn good.
Do you never wear a hat?
I don't. I mean, look at. I've got a hat, like a hair hat. I call it the Lego Man hair. Where it just kind of like covers my whole head. And if I had a hat, man, I don't know if it would look good or not.
That's it. Well, I dare say.
But I have a small head too.
Let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, this is way bigger than my head, right?
I think you look kind of good.
Oh, that's complete garbage.
I did well. No.
If it was fitted properly, perhaps?
Yeah. Maybe the right size, but I think
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got the jawbones for it.
You're rocking
Classic Hollywood jawbones. So you're
Absolutely.
in paradise, right? You are in this place, which at least on paper seems like an amazing place to stay, to hang out, to cause some trouble.
Yeah.
So what took you beyond the island?
We moved. Well, my mum actually moved us back to London.
Yeah. Folks split?
Yeah, folks split.
Yeah.
My dad did some
Sure.
not so good things, and then we moved to London.
Yeah.
And she wanted to give us like a better education.
Oh.
The education in Anguilla was kind of weird, actually. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
I was one of the only white kids in school, obviously. But there was only like 3 white families on the island at the time.
What is the native language? What's the native nationality?
English, British.
Oh,
British West Indies.
Oh, what's the name?
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed like being a bit different.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Being a minority is surely different for everybody. There, I sincerely was very much minority. White boy.
Yeah.
They used to call me. Yeah. Some of them did, yeah. White
They
boy.
just straight up call you out?
Yeah, just white boy. Yeah. Yeah, it's mad. It was interesting. I liked it. A few of the kids didn't like me. Fine. I was really good mates with a very, very, very kind of big local bird who loved me and like fought my battles for me.
Oh, that's great.
She was like, she always used to tell them. She used to fight them off and tell me like, you got rights. Yeah, don't take that. You got rights. Because I was born there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but looked
this corner had someone in my had someone in my corner. It was definitely an interesting, but I thought it was cool.
That is cool.
At the time,
It's definitely good.
It was it was interesting for sure.
Did you want to go back to London?
Well, we went back to London. We went from like living pretty decent to moving into a council house.
Wow.
Yeah, my mum signed on, sold all the jewellery. Yeah, just went literally rag down.
Roughly how old were you when you moved back?
It was like beginning of primary school.
So teen.
No, beginning of secondary school, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, secondary school. But then there was a bit of back and forth. I went back to the Caribbean a few times. Cause like when you get older, teenage years, you start getting angry with the world. I was like, oh, F you, mum. I'll just go to dad. And she's like, yeah, go to dad. See what happens. You'll be coming back. And I was like, sweet. I'm going to the Caribbean. Went to my dad. And then turns out,
came back.
He's a bit of an asshole.
It's tough,
End up
man.
coming back. Yeah, it was like, definitely.
Did you feel
she
like,
was right?
Well, but mothers are always very wise.
Yeah.
They are the wisest.
They are the
people in
wisest,
our lives, for sure.
Absolutely.
Was there any expectation for you to go off to uni and get a degree and all of that?
I think there was. My mum brought us up like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you want is cool. And there was definitely that resonated through. I ended up bartending pretty quickly.
Quick money? Or because you liked the people? Or
I got a job in Brixton, a place called Plan B, working for a guy called Andy Campana. He's a proper legend in the UK industry. Newest stuff, worked for Match Bar Group. He opened up a joint, which I soon started working for. And we like it was one of the best places in London at the time. Yeah, a bit of a club. Had some great DJs come down there, and the drinks were fabulous. And I learned a lot from him.
was it actual cocktails?
It was cocktails. It kind of evolved into more of a club.
Yeah.
But it was one of the first kind of nicer places in Brixton, and did really good. Did really, really well. He did really well out of it. Opened up another bar. Then I opened up a bar for a guy. My girlfriend was working at a place called Cafe Libre at the time, and then the owner of that opened up a bar downstairs. It's called 22 Below, and we made it something quite special, like very special.
Yeah.
I went back and worked for Andy when he bought a bar in East London called the Legion.
Legion, okay.
Yeah, that was good. It was a bit of a party bar.
Yeah.
Then Hezzy came to me one day and said, we want to open up a bar called Graphic, where Terry was telling you about. London's first original gin palace.
Yeah, yeah.
And Hezzy said, we want you to open it and run it. And I got involved. So we opened up. It wasn't gin focused specifically at the beginning, but it was really enjoyable. We planned everything out together. It was really good.
And you took a trek to Austria? Is that right? Or Swiss?
I went it was actually at the time, like, after Graphic opened, and I'd essentially worked my way through the London bar scene.
Yeah.
Doing all kind of roles that you could possibly imagine, up to managing a volume venue.
Yeah.
I was just in a place where I needed to go somewhere for a little while, get away.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
What a palate cleanser.
Yeah, for sure. I took a trip from LA to Rio, 7-month little.
LA?
Yeah, LA.
How was that?
LA to Rio. Didn't like LA at all.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people like LA.
It was rubbish.
Some great people from LA, no doubt, but
yeah, went straight into Mexico from there. Had that night in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
With the peyote, best night of my life.
Sure.
Did
you, as mushrooms do as well, you walk away with a few key takeaways?
Yeah. Everything is love.
Well, that's absolutely true. Yeah. And, oh man, I don't even want to get into how love has wrecked my life up and down and tossed me through the gutter back and around again. But was there something that said, okay, well, Simon, this is what you should do. This is where you should go.
I became, I think, just at peace with myself. That was what happened there.
And no more fuck the world kind of stuff?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah, it was like, this is, it was just a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I was happy. And then I moved to Switzerland. Because when I got back, the last place I worked for Hezzy for, the owner of Graphic.
Yeah.
There was a place called Alice House, I believe, in West Hampstead. And I met a guy called Neil who said he's going to Verbier, this place in Switzerland, and it's basically the best place on earth. And we got on really, really well. We had some incredible nights in there.
Sure.
In fact, so incredible, at the end of the night, we would bow. Everyone would be clapping. And we would bow and shout, "You're welcome, West Hampstead." It was.
We've been Hall & Oates. Good night, everybody.
It was this was bartending. I think it's really changed.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, in London, I expect in Europe as well. I'm talking pre-mobile phone era, when you had like a special place, it was a party.
Yeah.
Like, it was a proper party. I've not experienced anything like that outside of. I haven't experienced anything like that since coming here. There's been some serious times in Switzerland as well. I don't know. There's a different feel in Europe,
but it's changed. You're saying
it's changed. Yeah. There used to be like some serious, and bartending was different. I guess also in Europe, you're bartending and you're pretty much there and you're doing it because you really love to do it because the pay is shit. There's no tips. The hours are long.
Passion project.
Yeah, it's a passion project for sure.
So what brought you back to London then?
Well, after coming back after doing my sabbatical, moved straight to Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Verbier, best place in the world. I I can't imagine being as happy in my life now if it wasn't for Verbier.
Something that really maybe changed the way you thought about life yourself?
Absolutely. Just continue to learn like how to make things very, very good.
Yeah.
Turn things 5-star rather than just doing things
Really
kind of mundane. Absolutely, yeah.
when you
throwing
think
a party properly.
when you think about the creative impetus for making cocktails, or we just got done talking about colors and experiences and things, what were some of the things now and then that were influencing you to think about that in a more creative way? Was it music? Was it movies? Was it art?
I think it was the people around. Yeah. You're constantly learning, isn't it? And you surround yourself with the people, and you start to become kind of similar. You take on board what other people do. To an extent, you incorporate it into your own way, and you craft your own version of whatever journey you want to go in. And the people there were incredible. I worked for this guy called Latte at the Faraday Hotel, one of the most famous après skis in the world. I mean, it was so good, so loose, so crazy. One day I was at a party the other day in Volstead, and I'm chatting to someone, and the girl on the band there is talking about doing a stage dive, and she's like, she's flirting with the idea. She's like getting the crowd riled up, like, I guess prepping to make sure they catch her.
Sure.
And then she said, have you ever done a stage dive? This bird I was chatting to, and I was like, yeah, there's one time I've crowd surfed. Crowd surfing, yeah. What's a stage dive? Is that different?
Well, the only way to get to crowd surf is the stage dive.
Okay, so stage dive is crowd surf.
Predicate.
Yeah. So one day somebody bought a surfboard into the après ski. So my only ever crowd surf I've ever done, I dropped I got on the stage. Yeah, I wasn't even singing.
It was a literal interpretation of a
surfboard on the crowd and surfed all the way to the end. This is what I'm saying.
Oh my God, it's
those
wild.
Kind of parties.
Yeah, super
where everything
wild.
was good. Yeah, just because it was at the top level of ridiculousness.
That is super ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's an interesting thing, and I don't ask everybody this, but it just occurred to me, probably not at that time, but in this industry, which kind of limits your ability to be healthy in a lot of ways, it limits your ability to not drink in a lot of ways. Obviously, we're guilty of that right now, although it's lovely.
Incredible.
Drinking with you my first bottle of mezcal from 2013. But what about family and stuff? Is that something that you look at? Did you want to pursue getting married, having kids, all that?
Pursue, I don't know. I mean, my family was pretty... I mean, we had some really, really good times.
Yeah.
Then we've had some really interesting times. Christmas dinner at my house. I mean, it was... For anyone we invited, it was probably very entertaining.
Sure.
But often somebody cried.
Yeah.
Somebody shouted. So my sister was crying.
Yeah.
My mum was shouting. My brother would leave, my little brother.
Yeah.
I would end up getting hit in some way or bleed in some way. Which is generally, my older brother. It was a... but interestingly, it was like still that proper... My mum would like still, persevere. The food would be incredible. There was like 8 or 9 dishes of ridiculous food on the table. There was like a lot of... it was done like at the top level of quality and deliciousness, but it was crazy and
it's like the eye of a storm,
very
isn't it?
effed up. Yeah, so that's my kind of concept of family, and actually till up until recently, I always thought I wouldn't have kids.
Yeah.
I did actually get married that one time in Brooklyn.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she love of my life. We ended up going to Antarctica for honeymoon.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
There's actually we were on the National Geographic ship Orion with a load of wildlife photographers and stuff, And on the interesting story about this one, we're with a load of people. There was some very rich people as well. A couple of dudes we got on really, really well with. There was a couple of famous people as well, and I was, I guess, like the bartender of the group, and we're making dry martinis, and the ice on the ship is pretty shite, and there's a bottle of Tanqueray, which actually is one of my favorite gins.
Me too.
Yeah, delish, and we're stirring down these Tanqueray martinis with the ice off the machine, and it was the first day where we like start hitting icebergs, and I was drinking this martini. It was subpar, wasn't enjoying it, but still enjoying it, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
Looking out the window, and we were like, it just occurred to me, there's a load of delicious ice. I'm staring at it. I worked with hand chipped ice before.
Yeah.
Why don't we go and get some of that ice?
We'll up it.
Absolutely. So I was chatting to the guy there, and he said, "Oh yeah, let me ask the captain." So the captain comes up, and he's like, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, we were thinking maybe getting that ice in here and making some delicious martinis." And he was like, "Yeah, let's make it happen." And he pulled out the dinghy. He's like, "Just give me 20 minutes." Cool. Got a dinghy ready, and we went over. Carved out some wonderful chunks of delicious ice, and obviously he's a geek about the situation.
Yeah.
He's talking about how the ice is like 20,000 years old, and giving me some like incredibly killer facts, and I'm just like sucking on a couple of huge ice cubes.
So this is what kind of occurs to me. Salt water can't freeze ultimately, right?
No.
So this is all freshwater ice.
This is fresh water from thousands of years ago, and it's delicious. We got back and we just started. Oh, and also from the underhang of these icebergs, what happens is there forms these icicles, these beautiful icicles.
Clear?
Absolutely clear as day. And we would snap off some of the icicles, and we took back a haul of icicles as well as the huge blocks. So we would carve the blocks for stirring the martinis, and we just pop an icicle in the drink for gin and tonics. Yeah, facing up. So the point was
crazy.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah,
that's not an experience I think anyone that I've ever met has ever had.
It's ridiculous. There's actually, I've got a video on my Facebook of me making a dry martini with that ice.
I mean, it's a little bit of posturing. It's the best ice on the planet, you know.
It's so good. I always thought that would be a good business opportunity. Somehow get that
vintage
ice. Yeah, for sure. Get that over from Antarctica. Yeah, it was good.
That's amazing.
It's delicious water, delicious ice.
But this whole, where I've been introduced to you and this whole kind of latest chapter here in Austin with Here Nor There, did you guys all meet at Trailer Happiness?
So there's a lot of like interlinking, weaving.
Yeah.
So the graphic, the one that I opened in Soho, which interestingly was right next door to one of my dad's first textile shops.
No
Bolton
way.
Square. Yeah, that was interesting
That's
as well.
crazy.
It's really weird, but very cool. So it kind of felt a bit like home.
Yeah.
Terry ended up working there, getting a job. When I was in Switzerland, we would work the winter, and I would save up. Often, always around like 20,000 francs, which was the equivalent of dollars.
Yeah.
And we would I would go to Asia or Africa or anywhere on the planet that was kind of cheaper, and I could sustain until November, December comes along, and I'd go back to Switzerland.
Yeah.
So I was traveling for the entire time I was working and this is why also I say this is the best life in the world. Anyone who's thinking about going to work in a ski town, if you can get one like that, situation like that, it's the best situation you could possibly be in. 8 months off a year, fantastic.
Yeah.
Save all your money, go anywhere you like. I would go to Thailand, I would check into like a Thai boxing camp
Yeah.
sometimes for 3 months.
There's we don't have to recant it, but anybody that meets you in a bar, if they're sitting next to you and sipping, they need to ask you about the Thai massage leaf therapy.
The spanky leaf.
The spanky leaf.
Yeah.
We'll leave it to that.
Well,
but,
yeah.
But that's a great story.
That's
But you were traveling a whole lot, working hard those winter months, and then going and getting a little more heat into your life.
Yeah. And then just going back to Switzerland. That was the best life. That's also bartending as well. I've always had so much respect for it. It's such a good job. Such a great job. Such a wonderful thing to do. So you learn all your skills, to chat to people. You get to wear so many hats being a bartender.
Yeah.
You get to be. Yeah, I guess there's lots of shitty bartenders out there. Actually, I've met a few recently. Kind of do want to vent about. There's so many, there's great bartenders out there. There's some shitty ones, but for the most part, it's such a wonderful job to have and be, and it made me the person I am. I truly respect the craft in general, and it's so fun. I think about it so often. Like when I do bartend, though, I've kind of stepped away from it. In fact, I have completely now. But there's not many shifts I didn't think, do you know what? I really, really love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Doing what you love.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you, because I think about this crew of Brits.
Yeah. Oh, and you know there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And I think that it's an elegant way to look at service and your career. And of course, if you want more mezcal, this is at your disposal. But, you guys met and kind of obviously things worked between you, James, and Terry. But what was the process like? Were you ready to come back? Or were you ready to migrate, as I do air quotes, to the States?
Yeah. So we worked, going back to where we were before. I went off on a tangent.
Oh, that's good.
One day I'm in London. I've just gotten back from 3 months in Japan, where I worked in a fruit orchard. I went to evolve my garnish game as well.
Yeah.
Learn the Japanese way about many, many different things. Get back to London. There's still 3 weeks before I need to get back to Switzerland. So I'm going to go and hang out in London with my mum for a bit. And I put on my Facebook any shifts for a bartender back in London.
Apple orchard guy.
fresh from Japan. Let's go. Anyone got some shifts for me? And then my little brother said, call James Huertas. And I was like, okay, I don't know this guy. I called James and I was like, have you got any shifts for me? He said, yeah, Trailer Happiness. I was like, fantastic. Like one of the best bars ever in the world, in London, for sure. So I give James a call, and James says yeah, do you want to come down, meet me quickly? We'll go for a beer. So we go for a beer, something to eat, and just get chatting to James. And he said, yeah, got a couple of shifts for you. We got on straight away. So yeah, he was really, really good chat, great guy. And I ended up doing some shifts at Here Nor There. No, at Trailer Happiness, right, sorry. My first shift, there's a lady comes in and she orders an Oxley tonic. She's like, have you got Oxley? I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't. It's a rum focused, but yeah, we've got a couple of gins, no Oxley. She said, oh, okay, I'll just have a Campari soda. I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, whoever this lady is, she's cool as fuck, for sure. And so I make one. She's got a friend with her, a younger lady, and we get chatting, and she says, she's like, oh, what are you up to? I said, oh, I'm just here doing a few shifts until I go back to Verbier. And she was like, oh, Verbier, my son worked there. I was like, oh, no way. Who's your son? And she's like, Jamie Evans. I was like, yeah, I know Jamie really well. Jamie worked at a bar called The Loft, which I opened for Andy. That was the last bar I opened for Andy. And Loft in Clapham. Great place back in the day. And Jamie Evans worked there after I left to go to Switzerland. He'd worked 1 year, I think, prior to that in Verbier as well. Anyway, spotted the connection, and she said he's getting married in, I don't know, in a few months or whatever. And I was like, oh, no way. I hadn't spoken to Jamie for a long time. And I called, I took a picture of me and his mum, his mum Val, who's actually, she's actually friends with my mum now.
No
which
way.
is cool. Yeah, definitely. And then she goes, so then he calls me straight away and he's like, what are you up to? I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm just doing some shifts till I go back to Switzerland. And he was like, oh, do you want to come to the wedding? It's in Barbados.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. I went, when is it? I was like, yeah, I can make that work. He's like, wicked. So I booked a flight straight away. I ended up going over to Barbados for the wedding. While I was there, met my bird, one loves my life.
Yeah.
And I went to, she was like, do you want to come to Miami? So like, we got together at the wedding. Then instead of going, I was like, I'm going to go back to Switzerland. But yeah, maybe I can come to Miami. So I just bought a ticket to Miami. Ended up going to Miami, hanging out with her. And then, yeah, not leaving really.
Wait, so have you been here the whole time?
We went.
Miami?
No, I left a few times. I was flirting with the idea. We were going to end up moving over to Switzerland or Europe.
Oh yeah.
But she ended up getting a really good job in New York, and
so that's why you ended up in New York.
Yeah. So we went to New York. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we ended up. I didn't like New York City, but she obviously had the job there.
Yeah.
She ended up getting me a job in the Hamptons, or just past the Hamptons.
Montauk.
A place called Montauk, right?
Yeah.
So I went there first. Then James calls me one day and says, "Yeah, this is Sam Ad. Everything connects.
Yeah.
Everything connects." The guy who they ended up opening the squeezery with,
Yeah, that's right.
was the guy who who let me stay in his house for my first season. Guy called James, I think. I can't even remember. No, he wasn't called James. Whatever. I feel very bad for not remembering, but whatever. And then so James ended up being mates with him. They ended up opening the squeezery because James called me one day and he said, I've been to Tales, Trailer Happiness was nominated, but we didn't get it. He was like, he was going to go to Australia to be with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But turned out something happened and he ended up not being able to go back there. And then, not with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was cool. And then I was like, yeah, come to Montauk. So he came and he hung out with me the whole summer. Got really good mates with my the guy who owned the house who I was living with. Then they 2 years later went into business for the squeezery and opened the juice bar.
Oh shit, no
Yeah,
kidding.
and then he's the one who bought. So they opened that bar together eventually, and then squeezery now that we have one here. That was
7th Street, right?
yeah, that was the one where James ended up opening here first while waiting for Here Nor There to open.
No.
And he's the one who brought Terry over and got, like kind of connected it all.
Yeah.
He was the connector.
Did you guys really want to bring Nick over?
Nick it was an afterthought. He came. No jokes. We love Nick. He came. So he just arrived, quite recently. But he's like Nick the Greek, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, smashing it in town.
Taking the piss.
What a geezer. Yeah, definitely. It's nice. I love having like my kind of like London people around. It makes me feel it's nice, that familiarity.
Yeah.
When we were in Montauk, we had everyone thought me and James were like the same guy. They would never see us in the same place together at the same time because I was either working or I was out. But we would always so and we both sounded exactly the same. So it was it was funny. They thought we were the same person, and
that's funny because he's a bit shorter than you.
Definitely.
Definitely.
We look nothing alike. But years ago, and then obviously Nick coming over as well because he's from London as well.
So you've enjoyed it being here.
Absolutely amazing. We we have a lot to show for what we've done. Soon after Here Nor There opened, we ended up. I was just getting coming to the end of wanting to be behind the bar all the time.
Yeah.
And then I had the opportunity to work for Pernod Ricard, which that came up.
Amazing portfolio of stuff.
Incredible.
For sure.
Yeah. And specifically craft in town. And then ended up acquiring that gig. And here we are.
Are you here
day.
to stay now in Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah? You gonna be here for a bit?
It would seem so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a wonderful place.
It is.
With some really, really cool people.
Good minds. It's a good culture. The community is really good. It's very, very accepting.
Yeah.
So, it's been an interesting journey. You are a man about town, a well-respected man about town. I'm going to go to that Kink song. But anyway, no, so you travel, you appreciate flavors. I think everybody appreciates your, just this nice, open, very, what's the word? Just open personality. You're very humorous. And so it does, I wonder though, is it going to be short-lived? You know what I mean? Not your personality, but you've traveled so long.
Yeah.
And so much. Can you sit in the same place?
Yeah.
For a long time?
I think it's a situation where I always thought I heard the term wanderlust.
Yes, yes.
And I put my hand up. I was like, it's me. I have wanderlust.
Yeah.
I finally saw a word that describes how I felt.
For sure.
And I did. I think when you get to a certain age or certain time in your life more, you don't want to. You want to throw your anchor and stay somewhere for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm there now.
I think Austin's that place.
I never knew that Austin would be that place. I thought it was Aspen. I was trying to get back to the mountains, but the Rockies aren't the same as the Alps.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same. And I should have lived deep in it. I lived in Denver for a year. It wasn't the same. But Austin wouldn't have been my first choice, perhaps, but my God, it's a great place.
We've embraced you with open arms, I would say.
It's appreciated as well. It feels like home, most definitely. I mean, now when I get... I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow.
Yeah.
I get anxious. The thought of traveling now gives me a little bit of anxiety. I'm like, I have to pack my bag.
Yeah.
I have to get up early. There's an element that just, I know I'm going to love it, of course, but there's an element of before I was like, yes, up for it. And I was about to go on an adventure.
But I just started to settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now and I have my cat June.
Oh, yeah.
She's hilarious. My number one girl, my main girl, my only girl.
The only one.
She's the one. She's the one for me. So I feel like you get to the point where you're traveled out. You're everythinged out. I'll never be traveled out completely.
Sure.
But I'm ready to chill, for sure. And Austin is going to be the place.
Yeah.
There's some very exciting things that are going to happen, which I'm really excited to see come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got one question left for you. We've had an amazing opportunity to sit and be creative with each other, sip through some things, talk about your life, but getting a sense of history and getting a sense of your affinity for pop culture. So let's take this mezcal, this 2003 Mexicano y Esperin from Mezcal Vago, and you can sip this anywhere in the world, it doesn't matter. But you can sip and have a conversation with anybody, living or deceased, who would you sit down, sip this mezcal with?
Probably my granddad.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to know a little bit more about, like,
Where you come from?
Yeah, you know. I'm sure he's got some stories.
Sure.
Definitely be someone, like, older, who's lived in a different era.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was quite rude, actually. He wasn't a nice guy. But, like, I'd be able to deal with that now, you know?
Right.
Like,
You navigate it
stand
now.
up to it. Yeah, like, yeah, sweet. Like, have a conversation. When you're a kid, he's just ordering you around to do stuff.
But now you're peers.
Yeah, we could just have a chat. I'd ask him what you're up to. I think he was in, like, the army and stuff. He was like, and even if he is, I remember him being an angry fellow.
Yeah.
Even if he is a dickhead, or was a dickhead, like, I love a good dickhead sometimes, you know, for sure. So even if however he was, I would have still enjoyed having a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And, like, learning something about not only about my family, but how it was back in the day.
Yeah. It's amazing. I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I was just a wee lad when I met my grandfather and we hung out and stuff. So it'd be good as an adult to go back and see. He apparently was aspiring lawyer, got drafted into World War II and stuff. But yeah, going back to where it begins, going back into where our family begins, where it comes from.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out. And I'm glad you're in Austin. It's always such a pleasure to run into you when we're out.
Likewise.
Apparently I'm something or something which I find just mind-boggling. But
the best. If anyone is in Austin and runs into Mike G at the bar and he's had a couple of mezcals, prepare for a good laugh.
That's
for sure.
That is my new boilerplate. That's my bio now. That's my bio.
Funny Cam.
Yeah. Amazing. Simon, thanks so much for chatting, mate. Talk soon, yeah?
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So there we have it. A great addition to the cocktail scene here in Austin. A great personality to add to the conversations. Mr. Simon Nicolian, now representing Jameson whiskey here in town. Really interesting upbringing. The similarities between Terry and he, having grown up in a hotel, hospitality running through the blood, making martinis with the purest ice in the world. These are all really incredible stories, and it's going to be very exciting to see what Simon's up to next, and I hope he sticks with us in town here for some time. So thanks so much, Simon, for taking the time to chat with me. And thanks, everybody, for listening to Show to V with Mike G. No matter how much of the West Wing you have left and you're dreading the very end of it because you do like Jimmy Smits a lot, or if you're thinking this new Twilight Zone series is absolutely astonishing, please keep dancing.